have another promotions guy. That's Adam Cassini. I should probably get him on the phone.
What do you want me to play? I don't think I got that.
They sent you the Us album or some cuts, MP3s. Can't even hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
They sent you MP3s or something
from
Adventure awaits in a.
I'm looking for. I thought was it music? Yeah, it was music, right?
Right, I believe so. Promotions.
Let's see. I just got a one sheet. I didn't get music. Oh, yes. No, you did send an MP3, but I don't have that. I don't know why, but I have a one sheet, but no MP3. Is it possible to send that MP3 again?
Not from mine. Bill's gonna have to send it. But let me get him on the phone. Even if he even answers.
Okay. I don't see the MP3 email.
Yeah, how you doing, Bill? Me and Cathy are here trying to start the show. She's looking for MP3s. Yes?
She's already been sent it.
I got it.
A week ago.
Never mind. She's got it.
I got it.
She's got it. Bye.
All right. So, oh, jeez. My God. Well, it says I can't listen. It
You
says
can't listen.
It's an archive file and I can't listen. Let's see. Jeez. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't listen.
So is it you're getting an MP3 file you can't hear because it's archived?
Yes, it says it can't be previewed from an archive file. Nope, sorry. Well, I could play you on YouTube just to get into this.
Yeah, but let's try to figure out if we can. I know you got a show to do, so.
Well, you're live on there already, so you try and figure it out over there and send me something, but then I can I'll play some music and I'll do what I have to do. Okay. My internet is really slow.
Who's there? Can't call Adam. You're going to play some older music?
Well, Boda Vista on us 2025.
Yeah, that's
okay, I have it on YouTube.
breaking up all over.
Nice. Okay. All right.
It just was breaking up like crazy.
Really? Not here.
Well, to us it was.
Oh, interesting show. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest again, Michael Mason. We've had several interviews before, but not for a long time. So, hi, Michael.
Hi, you're just breaking up a lot. I don't know if it's the weather or are you hearing me
I don't
okay?
know. I think I've done, yeah, I think I've done all I can do. I restarted my computer. I'm on the right, I'm on the right Wi-Fi. I mean, everything looks like it's working on this
Okay,
side.
well,
And I hear you fine.
we'll go for it then. You know, we got bad weather
Well, let's
coming in
try.
out here.
Uh, if we have too much trouble, we'll just end off and do it again. But yeah, we'll try and do the hang.
Yes, you're stopping.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's just you're in stop action, and then I hear you, then we
Okay, but
don't.
if you can hear me, yeah, let's just try and have a conversation. If we can't, we can't. Um, so you have a new project, right? Of which we just heard.
The new one, that's the Us album. It's called Us. That's out already. The new project we're working on now is it's called Interbeing. That'll be released again sometime in the early spring because we're about ready. It's already done. We're just waiting to try to get it back into mastering and stuff like that. So it's and then we still are even working on a number 7. So of this series of things that we're doing. So even though it's probably my 14th album, so,
Yeah.
so
Well, that's good. That's great. Yeah, so we just heard Us, which yeah, I guess when was that released?
last spring, or
Okay,
this
so you're
past
you're
spring,
being
I should say.
you're being pretty prolific there.
Yeah, I'm trying to maintain it on a regular basis, of putting an album out a year.
Yeah.
So it depends how my songwriting goes, you know.
Yeah, let me ask you about your intentions regarding that. So, do you have you decided a while back that you wanted to do that, to put out a record every year, or do you just feel drawn to compose and record just because? What are your intentions?
I compose constantly. My mind is in a compositional composure, and sometimes even the guys are saying, "Hey, man, slow up," you know. So, um, yes, I mean, when I lay down a song or try to get an idea for it, I bring in a couple of the guys and say, "Hey, man, here's where I'm going with this," and we'll make some decisions, maybe change a few things, whatever. But essentially, they're my compositions, but they donate a lot, to changing my format as sometimes as we go. So it's a collaborative effort, like it should be in high world music and jazz and improvisation. So I try to
Yeah,
keep the door open.
yeah, that's great. Do you get a chance to play all your songs? I know I don't. I mean, I don't get to play all my compositions, you know. Yeah.
You mean to listen to them?
No, to play them out, in a
No,
performance.
I do not. We do not get a chance to do that. We're trying now to get our for whatever better word for it is to create a stage performance that would be adequate to, open up for jazz festivals, headline. It doesn't matter. It just takes a lot of work. We're working on that now. I've got a new promotions guy.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get YouTube more up to snuff, get more visuals of us seeing us playing the material as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got quite a bit of work to do, but it's getting there. Like I said, we've already been asked to play out several times. We've probably turned down I don't know how many festivals because we're not ready. Even though we're
Really?
all
You're
over the
not
place.
ready?
No, we're ready as musicians.
Yeah.
We have to get into rehearsals. We have to establish. This is not an easy set of music for us to reproduce. We have 12 to 15 hand pans that have to be on the stage at one time, 2 percussion players, a violinist, a cellist from Ukraine, all the stuff we try to do. We want to get as big of a performance out of it as we can, even though I think now we're starting to understand that we're going to have to augment some of the group sizes and various materials. We have plenty of material to rehearse.
Yeah.
But you're talking $3,000-$4,000 a rehearsal. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a road crew.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not a smart move. I should have just stayed as a quintet. Oh,
When did that develop? Did that develop a long time ago or in more recent years?
the size of everything.
Yeah.
The original albums or the early albums were strictly jazz, quartets and quintets. Actually, they're incredible albums. In fact, that's what got me on the page with James Newton and all those big players. The Coltrane projects and stuff like that. So, but here now I don't want to say evolved. I've just got into a lot of world music in regards to players that I've met and stuff, percussion players or djembes or whatever. Even the instrumentation, oud players. And you can hear it in the music now. I've incorporated almost. I can incorporate a lot of stuff, and then these guys come in and they're like going, "Hey, man, why don't we try this?" Or again, it's always a collective. Even though I may start the compositional form, it may not always end up like that. But there's a lot of players. I could probably have. Well, Ian Maskin's on cello. He's from Russia, Ukraine. Jennifer Lowe on violin. Gia Flo, it's her husband, and my bassist and sound engineer and stuff. So right now, I can go on Fareed Haag, Danny Gessling on all the percussion work and the hand pans and drums. And then we've got 2 other percussion players that these guys are some of the best in the world, so things change dramatically sometimes,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it to you.
Yeah.
We're having a good time doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it really doesn't demand too much explanation. It just is what it is. Things are changing. Life, the music reflects life, which is always changing, right? And especially in our genre of music, that's what it's all about. So the challenge is to how, like you said, $3,000 or $4,000 a rehearsal. The challenge is how to keep the music going and how to have it at least pay for the rehearsals,
It's a lot of work.
Right?
YouTube I have a new
Yeah.
YouTube channel that they started a couple of months ago.
Okay.
And I really think it's really showing a lot more. Regular YouTube, you can still pick me up, but now my new A&R promotions guy is doing a lot of the design work, and he's really pushing, to get things dedicated to our images and what we're doing in regards to the music. So, uh-oh, lost you. You
Yeah.
there?
No, you didn't. I'm
Oh,
just small. I just wanted to. I wanted to look at your this is the channel, right?
I am not sure. I think it is, yes, because all the albums are listed. Uh, Adam Cassini is the guy that's running it. Yeah, that looks like the new channel.
Uh-huh. So it's
Yes,
all the albums are here, basically. Yeah.
yes, I
Uh-huh.
believe so. Some of the older ones may not be, but the Coltrane projects and all that.
Yeah.
Uh, I've got stuff that goes back to 80, 83.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Been doing this a while. Um, yeah, Roland, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. So Roland says, "Oh, for the days when the band members contributed to the band to keep it going." Yeah, that was a long
You
time
mean
ago.
financially?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
we've got to get promoters now. We've got to get
Yes.
investors
Remember
constantly.
what? Yeah,
So,
investors. I was lucky enough to have a sponsor for a long time,
well, I hear
years,
you're doing a
for
great
about
smash out
six
there.
records.
You're doing fabulous.
I am.
That's what I see, what we see. You're
Well,
doing great.
I keep going. This last record that I made, I owe the remainder of the money, and my supporter is not able to support me anymore. So I have to do it myself, and so it's going slow.
Oh, I know.
But otherwise, I mean, there's some projects that I'm doing that I'm excited about. So
It cost me probably
yeah,
about $8,000 for each record because I put in a lot of our money into it and stuff because we don't have big bankroll guys, that are doing it. Unless we get licensing from a bigger label, then maybe that would happen. But right now we're just moving along and we're doing the best
I
we
have to
can.
say, $8,000 is cheap. My
Well,
projects
no,
were
that's
a
I'm
lot
just
more.
that's just mine. That's that's got nothing to do with the other people investing and putting money in.
Oh, oh, I get it.
No,
I
no,
get it.
no. Each album is probably well over 16, 17,000
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
time you get
it's
it
more
all
like
done, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah. My last project was a no net, and there was arrangements, there was the band, there was the studio, etc. The studio, it's a lot of the money. Pretty, pretty high up there, as far
so
as
you're
money
still
goes.
using
But
major studios to do your
no,
work?
this one I used my friend's studio. While it's on the cheaper side to use him, he just did so much work. So, and it was nine pieces, and so, and yeah, so
Well,
anyway, it was a lot, whatever. I mean, what are we going to do? We're still going to keep going and do what we do, right?
depends. I mean, we use a lot of Pro Tools work and stuff. We record here at the house for the basics, and then Geo is a whiz at Pro Tools, and then from there it goes to another engineer. I got a great guy called Freddie Brightberg, and he does all the has done and does do all the Walt Disney sound work as well as he's now just got done. What was that? Abbey Road. He's been out there with Pink Floyd um, with that tribute group. So we're very fortunate to have uh, great tech people they can put some of this stuff together, because I'm not technically savvy at trying to do that. I mean, even my home studio drives me crazy. 24 tracks in my house is like I wake up in the morning going, what dials what? You know, into my laptops and everything else. So workstations. So
Yeah. I have a friend who moved out of LA. He's a very unique percussionist, and he moved out of LA into Washington State because he wanted to just get away from everything, you know. And his garage is his studio. He has all these different kinds of instruments, and but he's extra. Talk about prolific. He keeps coming up with records all the time. He puts them on Bandcamp, and so
oh, that's right.
he just keeps doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it. You know, it's amazing. I don't know how. I don't know
So
how
is he putting singles out or albums? Just singles on
albums,
Bandcamp?
albums. But he's not kind of a commercial guy. He's more of an creative music guy, avant-garde-ish, and
Sounds
he's
like I should meet him.
oh, he's amazing. His name is Brad Dutz. Dutz. He really is amazing. He's there's nobody else like him that I know of. He's
Mm.
he can just as soon as you are with him, you feel it, and then he starts creating. He's one of those guys, kind of like Hermeto Pasquale, like can create, he can make percussion with this or, I mean, it's just like right
Okay.
there. Everything's right there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got a guy named Iris that brings over these crazy. I'm looking at here. Danny's in the studio, and I'm like, going, this guy will come up. They'll come in. He'll bring in half a tree into the studio, like a limb of a tree, and on it is hanging all this crazy stuff. And we use this
Oh my
stuff,
God.
on our CDs. Well, he's an incredible percussionist. He's
Wow.
a world-class percussionist. You go out to his house, he lives on 5.5 acres, and he turned his woods into you bring the sticks with you or pick up logs and you can pound on those and they create sound. And
Wow.
yeah, no, he's crazy man,
That
crazy
sounds
dude.
cool. Yeah.
He's pretty cool dude.
Yeah. The people like that are so cool. It's just like they're living on the edge of their fingertips. Everything is just right there. They're in the moment and they're in the future moment, and it's pretty awesome.
It is. It's just very inspiring. I mean, for people to even do that, you know,
Yeah.
walk into his house, he's got 3 drum sets in his living room, and then he's got, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Instruments I've never even seen sometimes of these weird African instruments from Yukistan or from Afghanistan. And the guy is just unbelievable.
And what is
It's
his name?
Aris Biscus.
Wow.
Aris
Aaron
Biscus.
Biscuits.
Biscus. Biskus.
Jus. Wow.
Aris is Aras.
Interesting.
And
Where is he from?
he's from Lithuania originally. And then
Uh-huh.
him and his mother and his they live in Downers Grove now, just by me here, but they got this strange piece of property buried in this urban area for on 5 acres, and he lives in this almost like a Frank Lloyd Wright type looking home. So when his mother passed away, he went nuts totally. He just decided to turn the whole house and the whole woods and everything into but his mother was very supportive of him. And he just turned it into
Yeah.
in a percussive world. The whole thing is a percussion world when you go out there. That's it.
Wow.
What do you want to
Interesting.
play? And he also, what else? He's now a beekeeper.
Oh my God.
Does
Wow.
beekeeps. I like, dude. Like,
He
first thing I asked him was, "Are you allergic to bees?" So But
Wow, he's really living life the way he wants to, that's
e-
great.
e- exactly. So got a daughter, that's good. Apparently a marriage or something that didn't work out years ago, but great guy.
Wow.
You want a percussion player. I don't know how you get all this stuff on a plane, but you can always send him some files.
Yeah, that's funny,
And he'll
man.
go at it. He does
What?
Danny does most of the handpan work on the handpans. Me and him will
Okay,
play the
yeah.
handpans, but he does most of the
Uh-huh.
handpans. Where ours, he could easily do these handpans, but he's so involved with all these, like, hey man, you want an eagle on this track? I go, an eagle? Yeah, I thought a soaring eagle would be nice. He's got this weird freaking whistle. Bald eagle. There it is. It's for real. Even though it's
That's
not flying
nice.
around my
That's nice.
studio,
So,
it's on track.
so he's is he on your records
He's
presently?
on a lot of the records and a lot of the
Yeah.
eccentric percussion stuff, the trickle sound, rains that are coming in, through rain sticks and
Yeah.
various forms of Australian percussion. Uh, that's him. So
Yeah.
crazy.
Very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I love it. Yeah, I've been getting a little bit back in that kind of, you know, musician uh because I've been just focusing on singing mostly forever. So, uh, but I have a steady little gig, so I can actually get into some, shakers and stuff. And yeah, it's that you have to
Well,
you have to
I
put
saw
yourself
some
in a
I saw
particular state
some
of mind,
stuff of yours
which
out.
I think.
It was on some promotional thing or something out in LA or something. You were doing some club work. Uh, is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. See, so
I don't. I mean, I'm not sure what you saw, but yeah, I do club. I mean, I work. I have a steady gig every week, and then I add in other gigs. So I'll do maybe at this point 3 or 4 gigs a month extra. So yeah, yeah, got to keep
awesome.
singing. But but yeah, that percussive being a kind of a not a fallback instrument for me. I have to get into it more of a turning off my thinking, trying to be perfect or any of that, just turning it off, which is, of course, the way we want to do music, but sometimes it's challenging, especially with a newer instrument.
We get them
How
from
many instruments
grooves,
do you play?
huh? I'm sorry, what?
How many instruments do you play? How many instruments do you play?
Oh, I play all the flutes, Bowies from China, Bowie flutes, the reed instruments, and piano and keyboards.
And
I create a
handpans.
lot of it, huh?
And handpans.
And hand pans, right? I started with the hand pans with the workstation stuff, but then I said, you know what? I can't do all of this. So I called my buddy Danny. He was a drummer he played a lot of great with a lot of great groups throughout Chicago and the Midwest. We just took a chance on each other. I said, hey man, I think you can keep a beat. You want to check these things out? So I bring him over to the house. He's looking at these flying saucers, and he's like, "What? Oh, what do you want me to do with these?" Listen, I go, "Listen to this." So he picks it up, and any percussion player is probably could do it very well. He learned them a little better than me, even. So because I was making too many demands on him to uh, to learn these things, and then I had to stop buying them because you thought each one of these I don't know how many we got. 15 of them, 12 of them. I don't even know. At 3,000 a piece, a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. I know they're expensive. Yeah. I'm curious about the reeded flute. So you're playing flutes with reeds, yeah?
The Bowie is a Chinese, and the Halusi. I also play the Halusi, which is another form of a Chinese flute. In fact, they're reed flutes. They're played vertically, like that, not transverse. So it's vertical, and they're oh man, if you look it up, I don't have one with me, but I have 10 of them downstairs. But they got a chamber, so when you blow into them, the chamber will kind of collect some of the air, and the reed makes the sound. They're on. They're not. There are. They're not produced chromatically. They're produced in key signatures. Like in E,
Okay.
Bowie in E, Bowie in G, Bowie in B flat, Bowie in F, or the Halusis will be
Yeah.
in C or something like that. The Halusis are designed with a drone though, so I can play them singly, or I can add a drone reed in there, so you can play the notes, and then there's a drone note underneath it. So sometimes I'll
Oh,
I'll use
okay.
that. So, but
That's cool.
they're not
Yeah.
they're not easy to play, because sometimes they talk back at you without even knowing it because of the air that's been trapped into the chambers. So if you don't have control of it,
Okay.
it'll it'll take off on you. So I have fun playing them. It's good. It's great. It's another
Yeah, that's
dimension.
really,
Yeah, next album I think I'm going to use
yeah,
the huh? Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was just going to talk about being that you and I use the same basic property to make the sound. And so air is control of air and how much air and how your body is producing the air. Yours
Hmm.
is a little different than mine because mine is my reed is in my body and it's very subtle. I mean, it doesn't matter how old I am or how long I've been doing it to practice and to be in the continued action that is relaxed enough, but not too relaxed and consistent, and all the other things that kind of, affect that. It's a lot. It's huge. And yours is the same, except that your reed is not in your body. So, I mean,
Well,
pretty
for flute,
challenging air.
the flute is the next thing to the human voice. There is no reed on my flutes. So everything's like very familiar to what you're dealing with in regards to the diaphragmatic vocal cords, things like that. There is no reed in my gold flutes that I play. I have to create everything from, the stomach, the diaphragm, up through the lungs, just like, producing uh, a more human sound. That there is no reed, there is no point of resistance on a flute, just like there's no point of resistance basically in a vocal or what you're doing. So it is it's a there's a lot of control. Whereas a reed, yeah, a reed's it's a meshing point for the air that comes from your body, and then depending how you articulate your mouth, your embouchures, or whatever that is, even in the reed helps push the sound into another direction, which our voice could never. Well, we could. I mean, there's some people that can produce reed sounds from their voice. You know, I mean, the voice can do just about anything. I mean,
Yeah.
you know that. I mean, Jesus,
Yeah. Yeah. You were saying to get a human sound on the flute. Is it purely embouchure to get a more voice-like or human voice-like sound on the flute, or is it something else?
I, well, it's a lot. Well, there's wind, obviously, and the shape
Yeah,
of the embouchure. Everybody's different. When you're a flute player, everything is very personal. Every flute player has a different, maybe different forms or whatever. Unless you go into some of the directions that I have gone in, in regards to like music from Robert Dick, extension, flute playing, um, extended techniques. Uh, and so the flexibility in here is, there's a lot of little muscles here that have to go to work, but um, every day it could sound different. I mean, that's why you have to practice a lot. You know, I don't care unless you're James Galway. He was a gift from God, or Emmanuel Pahud. Uh, these are incredible players, but even when we used to teach these students or whatever, it was like, everybody has an individual voice on the instrument when it comes to the flute. I mean, I can play it hollow sound. I can play a real biting nasal sound on it. Some of the guys here like that when I go down real low and I get that, real nasal low end. Uh, but there's a lot of different dynamics to it, just like there is on any instrument, I'm sure. But I've got to deal with it just like you do. It's from the mouth, the cavity, the larynx, the vocal cord, the diaphragm, the lungs, the fingers. There's a lot of things going to work here. So I don't know what to say.
well, flute. So that's what I played growing up, and that's what got me into
I
Berkeley.
see that there a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I during the pandemic, I took a few lessons again, and I still had an embouchure, but I don't play it enough. But it calls me. Actually, I'd really like to play an alto flute. That's really what I'd like.
Altos are
But
very nice.
yeah, but they're expensive, and I mean, since I don't play that very much, I think, well, I'll spend money on an alto, and then I won't
A
play it
whole
that much, and
different
that's kind of silly, you know.
embouchure, very loose, very baggy cheeks to get that low end sound. I used to have one, and it was not a good one. There's good altos, man, probably cost around $7,000, $8,000 just to have a good one. One that would
Yeah,
respond correctly.
yeah,
And then you got to decide,
yeah,
is it going to be a curved head joint or is it going to be a straight one? Robert Dick, I attended a master class with him. Robert Dick is an extended flute player. He had, a bass flute, and to be on a stand. I had barely enough wind to make the first octave. It was, it's insane. It's insane. Alto flutes are beautiful. In fact, I've always wanted to get one back just
yeah,
for our music here because the guys would love it. It's a beautiful, low,
yeah.
rich
Such a
sound.
sound, yeah, and a feeling.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
like you gotta
really beautiful.
gotta play it with. I don't know. It's almost like you gotta play it almost like with a chipmunk set of cheeks. So that's
Yeah,
my take.
I have a friend who, yeah, I have a friend who's a flutist, and she she plays. I'm pretty sure she plays bass flute because she has it on a stand. Maybe it's an alto, and she just has it on a stand because she gets tired. She's kind of small in stature, but yeah, it's I don't know, flute. I think, yeah, I think. I mean, I know a bunch of flute players, but including you. And I just think flute is a challenging instrument to really sound great on, you know.
Yeah, it depends, kind of makers you make and the flutes you buy. I mean, silver, whatever. I always tell students or if somebody that wants to maybe stop by the house and pick up a lesson or something, these parents, they think they want their kids to be, whatever. I said, I can't promise you anything. I said, well, what do you got for the instrument? And they'll say, oh, we rented this nickel flute, you know. I go, it's not bad. I said, but you know what? If you really want them to stay with it for a while, you got to go out, you got to get silver, or at least get a silver head joint.
So
Because,
that the sound is responsive to the person,
well, yeah,
right? So they can
it's
hear something good.
nickel is not the way to go,
Yeah.
you know.
This flute is my student flute from
That's all
years
right.
ago.
We don't know. I don't know what it is. It's probably
It's
silver.
it's like a mine heart, and it's probably silver
Mine
head.
heart is a silver flute. It depends
Yeah.
as long as it's yeah, I'm almost sure it's got to be a silver flute.
Yeah, and actually, my friends on Facebook, hi Alan, do you remember that when we took my flute and got it repadded at the music store, he got me a deal with the repairman because my flute was so old that it needed repadding desperately. I think he got me a great deal, something like $200 or something.
To
Yeah.
repad one of my gold flutes would cost me around 1,400 just to get them done. But they last. I take very good care of them. They'll last 20 years if you take good care of them. I mean, clean them
Yeah.
after you're done playing. Uh, the padding on these flutes are Stromberger pads or something like that are just phenomenal pads. I swipe them out all the time. I don't let condensation get inside other than when I'm playing and when I'm done. You got to dry them out. Uh, you got to take care of. Well, when I spend $18,000 on a gold flute, depending on what carat it is. I got a 14 and an 18 carat, two 14s and an 18, but they cost a lot of money, and you have to take care of them. But man, when you pick them up though, and you're playing them, when you're a professional player or even an intermediate player, like I remember back when I would when I knew that I could trust the student to hold it right without dropping it on the floor, uh, they would put it in their mouth and play it. Even professionals go, wow, man, this thing almost speaks. I go, yeah, it's because it's drawn thin, man. It's like 1400s thin wall all the way down to 12. All you gotta do is
Yeah.
breathe. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, I put it, I go, and I'll just, whoop, there's a note, you know, strange days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Enough of flu.
Um, my friend Roland, my friend Roland says, do you have an opinion regarding open hole flutes compared to closed hole flutes?
That's a great question. Uh, Closed hole flutes are great flutes. They provide a stability to the player no matter what. Um, the French school is the open hole. It's just open hole. The open hole gives you a little bit more resonance, and then the open hole, I can half hole some holes. You know what I mean, on my fingers if I wanted to do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
different, get a hollow sound or whatever else. And it comes down to I don't think there's any preference unless there's a B foot or a C foot. Uh, Ron Paul played a closed hole for his first years in his academy, and it was beautiful. So did Marcel Moyes. But eventually you got to get away from the closed uh, to really be able to articulate and get some of these techniques down that you need to know. Because a closed hole, once you put the flap down, so to speak, that's the sound, unless you recreate inside your mouth. But I see no difference. There are great jazz players that Eric Dolphy had a couple of great closed hole flutes. So did Hubert Laws. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't let that
He had a great
stop.
sound.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's up
yeah.
to him.
Hubert is so, yeah, he's brilliant. I've heard him several times. He was actually on this No Net project that I had, and
Oh
he
my
played
God, I can't
solos.
play like him. I wish I could.
What's different? Just because he's so, I mean, he's very clear and beautiful
He's
tone.
he's got a very focused sound, but a very inner hollow type of sound, which is it's not as biting as mine or as biting as a lot of some jazz players. So it's almost like a floating sound, when he's playing, and his articulation is phenomenal. And it just goes to show you. I mean, here's an African American with uh, very large lips. I mean, there are some teachers back in the day, especially in Europe, oh man, it's not good for you. You don't, your lips are too fat. Well, that's a crock
Yeah,
of bull, you know? Uh,
yeah,
Between
yeah,
Dolphy and Hubert Laws and James Newton, it's all right in here. It's all in the jaw a little bit, being relaxed. Uh, think in terms of frowning, you know, instead of
yeah,
smiling, you know, think of moving forward to go to each octave. Practice, man, practice. Every day my sound is different because some days I want to take that thing and just throw it to the window. But because I know when I start, it may not sound great, but by the end of my practice sessions, I'm back on track. I'm good. I'm better. And I don't practice the same stuff every day. Chromatics for sure, but I
yeah,
have probably 19, 20 different A2 technical studies books I go through uh, that I change, from one to the other, doing a couple of pages of
yeah,
this, couple of pages of that. I try not to stay the same every day. I like authors, like Marcel Moyse or Di Lorenzo studies. Uh, that's really what's gonna change you to open
yeah,
up your ears. And it's pretty hard to go from low D to high A above concert pitch and effortlessly.
yeah,
That's a lot of work to do that. Whoa, man. You don't have to lift your head up. It's Emmanuel Pahud is very good at at uh, at describing flute technique. So is James, but I think, anyways, I don't know if that answers his question. That's what I'm,
can't, I forget what the question
whatever.
was.
All I know is you can't be a flute player unless you've studied the best. You got to study. It's
Yeah,
not back in Jethro Tull days and Ian Anderson, who I know very well. Um, and he bastardized the instrument for years until his daughter went to school way back early on, and she started playing the flute, and she'd come back and tell dad. Imagine that. Ian Anderson, he's got like 9 albums out already. He's worth gold, he's just platinum,
yeah,
whatever. And his daughter comes back and goes, that's not, dad, you're not playing that low D right. You got to lift this other finger, you know. And that's when he just said, wow, okay. But he's one of the greatest flutists in the world, you know.
is he still working?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he don't know how to quit. He's not good. No. No. Yeah, He's got a great sound. His articulation's
Yeah.
phenomenal. His extended techniques is unbelievable. When I first met him, I tuned his flute for him. He was like, he knew three key signatures, F, C, and G, because they're easy to do on the flute. But he could overblow them, right? He could tongue them. He could create different vibes. He can create extensions, you know. If you did harmonics on the flute, and I do harmonics every day. So you blow the C, the first C, and you blow a little harder, 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 harder. You can get 3 or 4 different partials. Well, by the time I get down to low B on a flute, I can create 9 different partials of different notes. They're not just the octaves. They start going into, oh, this next note at this partial will be a sharp or it'll be a flat. But that's how you got to find these things. But it really fines tune your jaw, your lips. Well, I'm talking 42 years of doing this, right?
Yeah, of course, of course.
And I still stink. I do. Every day I wake up, you suck. I say to myself, right, thank God. And there's 2 things I do. I go, thank you, Lord, for giving me another day. Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to have the fingers and the wind to keep playing this instrument. I don't mean to offend you this day, but when I do, I'll try to do better. I know I suck. I'll keep working at it.
Wow. Okay. How long you been saying that?
Every day,
For years?
at least 35 years after my first teacher told me I sucked.
Oh, God.
I had a lot of people telling me I
I
suck.
I have
My first teacher, I told you that
I don't
story.
think I have a lesson. Which story?
The story with Joseph Zerov, how I ended up bastardizing the flute, and I happened to go. Remember, I did an audition at the Sherwood School of Music in Chicago. You see, he was the first chair of the Lyric Orchestra, first chair flutist, Lyric Orchestra. I went to audition, and I blew off the audition because I couldn't improvise. I was improvising on Mozart, and I said, "That's it." Packed my flute up. A couple of weeks later, his secretary gives me a call and says, "You know what, Michael? Is this Michael?" Yeah, okay. Yeah, Joseph Zerov's decided to take you on as a student. Really? I was like, that can't be. But what his first words to me were when I got him on the phone to make arrangements to go to the lesson. He didn't say you suck. He goes, Miguel, you sound like incredibly different, but we need to do some work. So be out at my house on Thursday, but make sure you leave your flute at home. What? That's how reality stood in for me. That was my introduction to the classical world.
Did you show
Yeah,
up without
basically,
your
he was
flute?
telling me I suck.
Did you show up without your flute?
I did. No, I showed up with no flutes. He had 5 flutes. It was just,
Oh, oh, okay.
yeah, it was like all over again. It was like, yeah, Mike, so bring your flute the next lesson, and so on and so on. And then
Yeah.
that's, I ended up with some great teachers, but they all thought I sucked. I was not a classical player. I was a jazz player.
Yeah.
The jazz playing was ruining my chops, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. But I'm still playing.
There's a lot of that in singing. When I was teaching at Cal State LA, um,
Yeah.
the the head of the vocal department wanted me to recruit singers. This is why I quit after 7 years. I was kind of full up, but yeah, she wanted me to recruit singers who wanted to study with me, but they couldn't study with me or with jazz for the first 2 years. They had to do the classical, and I thought,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I don't mind them doing classical lessons, but also with me. I mean, why else would I recruit people? What is it? What good is it? You know, if they really want to do jazz and they can't do it for 2 years. I mean, that's stupid. So,
No,
but
doesn't
there's
make
always
sense.
that, yeah, there's always um, that information. Actually, that was one of the things I did like about that job was that we had these group clinics with classical and jazz. And we would have several teachers. I was actually the only jazz teacher. But what I liked was seeing that we all shared the same opinion of the students, but it was
Hmm.
how we would have taught them would have been different, you know. But yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. But
Oh,
yeah, with
nice.
my teacher, I don't think a lesson goes by that I'm not I'm not bemoaning to him like, "Oh my God, when does it finally click in? I know what I'm going for, but oh my God, you know, because it's so elusive and it happens. In my viewpoint, certain singers over the years I have observed, and they have gotten to that magic, that magic place where everything is right, and and then they just stay there. That's what
Wow.
I hear. But for me, it's just constant practice and constant like re-realization of that whole feeling, you know, when everything is correct and whatever I've done to get there, which
But
I
that's
love.
legitimate. That's legitimate
Yeah.
work. That
Yeah.
is, it makes, you know, like I said, everybody's not, everybody doesn't, is not a gift from God. And let me tell you, trust me, James Galway puts in 2, 3 hours a day playing his flute. And the man is 85 years old
Yeah.
or getting close to it. And he's a gift from God. The sound is beautiful. I mean, everybody has their own little niche.
Yeah.
Some people have to work at it more than others. Does that make us not? Uh, I think the most important aspect, universal look at music in general, and instrumental people that play, whether it's voice, flute, or whatever, is that we're contributors to whatever is going on. Because if we just relied on the stalemate virtuosos, the world would be dry. But by the time you heard them or got a chance to listen to them or go to a concert or whatever, no, no, this is not what it's about. Then there wouldn't be any teachers anymore,
Yeah.
or those that want to teach. I mean, it would be jazz and classical should be intertwined, and they are. I mean, Mozart he was an improvisationist. That's
Yeah.
what he was. He could
Yeah.
sit down on a piano because he had the ear and okay, well, we're doing basically the same thing here.
Yeah.
And then I always wondered, I always had classical flute players or anybody. They'd show up at some of our. We used to have workshops back in the early day at the universities. My quartet would come in, we'd play, and then there would be like a clinic afterwards. And there'd always be like a flute player or someone comes, hey, yeah, I play in the classical orchestra or whatever. Because I just don't know how to improvise. I just can't
Yeah.
improvise.
Yeah.
And I find it like it's not that hard. You already know every scale known to man. I mean, if you're a classical player, and you're sitting there one day, you're playing Brahms, the other day you're playing Mozart. How many things in those fingerings and those modalities are you incorporating? But you can't improvise? Yes, you can. And it's that simple. Yes, you can. So,
It's a state of mind. I saw this young singer last week. Um, what was her name? Valentina Shelton. She's 26. Her father is, I think, like a movie maker, director, or something like that. And she grew up with a lot of different musical influences. She went to Frost University. she,
Frost, wow, really
yeah,
good.
she can speak French. Anyway, she's young. I mean, you look at her, she's a young woman, right? But the thing that was so wonderful about her, besides her singing was really good, she had a very good instrument, and she did everything from jazz to kind of R&B with licks, and she did, it was
Wow.
great. And she even did a theater piece too, like a Broadway song that was very challenging. And anyway, but the thing that I really loved about her was her kind of insouciance. It was like she was just up there and she wasn't thinking, like, oh, what should I do? How should I, whatever. She wasn't thinking. She was just being, and the audience was sharing in her kind of joy and creativity and moving forward. She just kept moving forward and doing like an idea. She got it. And she was experienced enough to also make it happen well. And the band was fabulous. But I mean, that was the biggest thing that I loved.
Wow.
And I think that, you know, that's really what it comes down to for all of us, because if we are in that state of mind, or we can get to that state of mind for really anything, it doesn't even have to be about music, but
It's
that's
a, it's a zone,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
that's what makes life happen, right?
very rare moments sometimes, but you got to get in the zone. Eventually, when you get in that zone, that's what keeps you going.
Well, that a friend of mine actually, I asked him what he was practicing lately, and he said, I'm practicing what I have to, but with joy.
Oh,
And
oh
it
yeah.
struck me, it was like, oh yeah, you can't practice with angst because that's what you bring to your performance because you're really good at it. So you have to practice with joy and freedom and creativity, and that translates into your doingness.
Yeah. Joy and gratitude
Yes,
of
gratitude.
being able to do it, you know.
Yes,
So
yeah, gratitude's important. I feel like we should listen to something else, can we?
I don't know. Got us? Anything from the Us album? I don't know what they sent you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have it here. You don't have live videos, right, of you playing?
No, not yet. Coming soon.
Yeah, okay. That's one thing we want to see at some point. But
I
let's
don't
see,
know.
here I am. So on the Us is we heard this song.
Right.
So
They recommend
Number 6.
what's six?
Tender the World.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, try that. See if it'll loading. Yes, yes.
What instrument is that, Michael?
That's a workstation, an ethnic instrument, a mix of a marimba and a balek. That's how they get that sound.
That's good. I like
Crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah, I like the
That's crazy stuff.
theme. Music is good. Yeah. Yep.
Was it breaking up on your end?
Not at all.
Ours, when we're receiving it, it's breaking up all over the place.
Let me
But
ask.
it's probably, we've got a lot of storms out here
Let me
right
ask
now.
one of my friends, Roland. Was the music breaking up while you were listening? We'll find out. Yeah, I know it's just kind of crazy what's been happening lately with cell stuff and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. So, what state are you in?
Illinois.
Yeah. So there's a lot of storms, like summer
Very.
storms.
Oh, it's crazy. We've been inundated for the last 4 days on and off with, we've got a new batch coming in. That's why I was thinking, maybe things are interfered with regarding that. I don't know. I don't know what you're hearing, but we're hearing it nothing but some of it's great. It stays for a while, then it starts cracking up and all that. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. So
Yeah. Well, I think my friend said the music is fine. He's,
okay.
I'm double checking. Did you mean yes, the music is fine, or yes, you're having problems? I think he said yes. So I think he's saying the music is fine. Yeah. So yeah. What have we not I mean, we talked about other stuff on the last few. We've met twice before, so we talked about other stuff as far as how you came up and all that stuff. Although this is a new moment in time, and your music is coming out again. Are you involved in social media stuff too?
What, yeah, Facebook, things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Do you do that as well?
I'm getting that handled, but I can't. Yes, Facebook is a new Facebook page on for Michael Mason. I'm not sure. We're not sure. I think it's Michael Mason Jazz. YouTube is Michael Mason Jazz Flute YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Um, we're doing a lot of stuff and trying to get different things off the ground now. You also have fireflute.com is the website that handles the some of the CD sales and other things through AVG Records. AVG Records is the independent label run by Bill Batskill. SoundCloud, we're on there, which is a big what? Yeah, Apple, Spotify. It's everything is on there, and it should be up. Especially with the Us album, everything should be up and running
Yeah.
in regards to that. But we're working on the new live videos now, where we have to go into the a sound stage.
Yeah.
The producers, we know that has to get done.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's again, the cost factor is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just to produce 2 songs, it could be around $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to do it the right way.
Yeah, of course. When did you hook up with Bill That's all your
Bill started with me in '83. I've been playing a lot of jazz clubs throughout, and but I was still working too as a firefighter as well. But I was playing a lot of jazz dates. He happened to be out there in the audience at one of these things, and he happened to love jazz and everything. And he decided that, hey man, would you mind if I try giving you a hand at managing you, or doing things for you? And he did a great job for the first 10, 15 years. But things got so intense for a while. I mean, he would send me out to Boston or Superior, Wisconsin, where he paid for a lot of this stuff, for me to get the exposure. He believed in my music and me, and I love him to death for that. He's always been a good friend. But I think what happened is modern technology took over in the music business. It wasn't the same as going into studios anymore, laying down, these big rock studios or these commercial studios where you're paying buco dollars on recording in, 48-track studios and stuff. I had come up through doing track work for a guy named Ray Diggs. He was from England, and I had a group called Canterbury, and we had done work in the studios trying to create an album. We could never raise enough money to finish it. Luckily, we had opened up for a few major acts at I don't know if you remember, in Chicago, there used to be a place called the Airy Crown Theater. So we opened up for King Crimson once.
Oh.
And then we opened up for, what was the well, Ian, we opened up for once. That's only because somebody canceled and we were booed off the stage. It was not a good time. But I'd been playing a lot of festivals and rock clubs. Progressive rock music is what I was doing. So, but he stayed with us, and he's always been there. And now he's managed his own label, and he's managed the website. But even that got a little overwhelming. So, Southport Records really picked us up for 5 albums, I think it was 5, 6 albums. Great reviews, great timing. But then I took that hiatus, Kath. I told you I took 9 years off. Kept practicing my horn. I was rewriting music and stuff. And I had to take a break because of, these jazz clubs every night, and taking a plane ride here or there and then coming back and trying to go to work, on the fireside. I was really pushing the envelope. So I just kind of took a break. 95, I think the last jazz festival was Ocho Rios in Jamaica. And then I got married, and I just said, you know what, I've got to pull back here. You have to understand, I was still raising a daughter as well. So out of what do you call it? A woman I met, not, what is it, out of wedlock? Is that what it is? Whatever. Was it, some people say, wow, man, they made a big mistake. I didn't make a mistake. I've got a great child. I had a great relationship. Everything to me is a turn of the page.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I always tell my guys, where were you in '69? Well, I was sleeping in a garage in Laurel Canyon. I mean, remember I told you that? I mean, that's where
Yeah.
really, Laurel Canyon, I'm sitting there with my guitar because at the time it was, I wanted to be a big folk guitar player. I wanted to be, everything, but I had met great people out there. I could have stayed, but I enlisted for ROTC for Vietnam. But a turn of the page, man. Had my tickets to Wall Kills, New York. You know what that was?
No.
Woodstock.
Oh, wall kills.
Wall Kills was where it was first going to be held,
Oh,
and the town kicked them out of there
oh,
4 weeks or 5 weeks prior,
right.
and then they got the Bethel Farm, you know,
Yeah.
up in Bethel. But I passed on it because I had to be back and report at University of Madison. It was crazy, man. Turn of the page. My whole life's been a turn of the page. It's
I like that.
very, very, very. I've been very lucky, very blessed. I think
like
you
that.
got to live a life to play some good music. I mean, you know what? You got to live some. You got to live a life, man.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I'm writing it down, a turn of the page. My friend the other day said he's a very unique drummer here. He's probably one of the most unique drummers in this town. He said I told my social media guy, I'm not trying to be famous.
no, I'm not.
I just loved that. I wrote that down. It was like, yeah. That's not the focus.
No, you know what though? Great. Hey, my thing was never the fame of it. It
Yeah.
was just about just to do it,
Yeah.
just to do it, man.
Yeah.
And most of my players are the same ways, really.
Yeah.
So,
My friend Terry is asking, how would you define progressive rock?
wow. I mean, back in the day,
Back in the day, Terry, or now? She's probably talking about, I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't second guess her.
well, progressive rock means that you're not pop. You're not progressive rock. You have to understand became a format of an extension of a particular piece of music that would be originated by ourselves, a bunch of rock guys, and we would want to extend out a little bit. We have already been influenced by Coltrane or something more progressive, something that was more elongated. Um, so our songs were not uh, playable on AM radio. Uh, so there would be extension pieces, and progressive rock is that's what that was about. King Crimson, Jethro Tull, these extended pieces that no one could really play, even groups like Chicago and stuff like that. We started enveloping, but our influences were from formal training, indirectly. So it had elements of classical, jazz, rhythmic beats, things like that. That's progressive. To me, was progressive rock.
Yeah.
Santana,
Yeah.
progressive Mexican music, that progressive percussive music. Allman Brothers, progressive. Just
Grateful
stretching it
Dead.
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
Grateful Dead.
Yeah, Grateful Dead. Oh, Jesus. So that back in the day, that's what it was. Progressive rock today is still addressed, but it's addressed in a much different way because of the modern technology of instrumentation, processing, all this stuff, looping. And some of my records, you'll hear looping. You know. So But again, it's all a matter of interpretation.
Yeah. There's
So
this
I
guy.
don't
I
know how
think
to
you'd
answer.
like this guy. There's the drummer Bob Moses turned me on to this guy. He's a really interesting man. His name is Tsuji Munoz. Tsuji is spelled Tsuji. Tsuji, and he's a percussionist and he plays guitar. He's also a spiritual kind of guru, and his music spans a lot. I mean, it goes from rock to jazz to like he made a record with Dave Liebman and
Liebman? David
yeah,
Liebman? The
yeah,
soprano sax?
yeah. He made a
My
record with
buddy?
him. But this guy is he's really
How do you spell his name?
Tsuji Munoz. He's really interesting.
Munoz. M-U?
Yeah, Munoz. I don't think he's super well known unless you're in his pathway. But Bob Moses has known him for a long time.
He's sitting with David Liebman. Jesus.
I know, and that's just one. He's been very prolific. He's really interesting. I think that you would dig him. He's amazing. Yeah,
All right. Very cool.
yeah. Everything from beautiful soft music all the way up to really progressive, what I would call progressive. You know.
I'll check him out, man. We're going
Yeah.
to check him out.
Yeah. One of my many records that I need to pull out again and listen to. Oh God.
Munoz.
Yeah. I've been
Check it
cleaning
out.
out my cleaning out and cleaning up my house. I have like 3 CD players in the house, so I still listen to CDs, but not all that much
Did
because I'm
did Bill send you? Did any of our people send you hard copies?
maybe in the past.
Did you get the Us hard copy?
No, I don't think so.
That's not good. Since you got 3 CD players, I
Yeah,
hope we got your address. I'm sure we have your address
probably. If not,
somewhere.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, yeah, because in your music, I mean, I definitely hear your rock influences, right? I mean, it's
Oh
very,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, the drum work is Danny's playing most of the drums,
yeah.
all of the drum work on there. So, um, and that's where that's his background. So,
What album is Aras on? I'd like to hear a little bit.
not on this album. He was on what the hell?
Human Revolution, Transcendence.
He's on Transcendence, Human Revolution.
Okay, let's see. Transcendence. I'm looking.
Yeah, and I couldn't even tell you the cuts. I don't.
I know I'm breaking up here, but I can hear it.
Yeah, it's Reed Hogg. Yeah, he's done. It's done.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not going to play it all because
Yeah,
yeah, but Yeah, so that's something to listen to.
That's a nice song. We like that song. It was
It's
a nice
beautiful.
song.
Yeah, very
Um,
nice.
but anyways, yes, everybody will be back for the seventh project of this series that we're doing. So the next one that's coming out though is he on Interbeing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on a couple of things. On Interbeing is the next release um, in May, in April.
What's the idea behind the series?
Well, I call it a series because it's kind of a different part of my musical career. From the original jazz quintets and quartets, I enveloped into this more of a world format of approaching compositions and music. So we seem to be on that with some of the players that are out this way and the stuff that we're doing, and some of the other players from around the world that have jumped in for us that really like uh, my compositions. I don't know how else to say. I call it a series. I don't know why, but I think the seventh will be, and then I'll find something else. I'll go in another direction. So, but see, all this material has already been put together, so to speak, compositionally, but it'll change a little bit. But the general ideas have already been put down. So there's like 9, 10 tunes that we have already put the skeleton down, so to speak,
Yeah.
for album 7 of what I would consider this to be of this series of music. Because I've got a feeling I'm going to go somewhere entirely somewhere else. I can't even explain it. I know something's haunting me in my brain.
Cool. Brings to
So,
mind Coltrane, the changes that he
oh,
went through.
yeah. Well, I'm a very spiritual person. I like to think of myself, and I think that's a big part of me is spiritual development. From being whipped by nuns to going through various things in various cultures with different people.
Yeah.
The Jewish religions, all that, and I'm into a lot of Buddhism, a lot. Uh, the different sects of different Buddhism. It's very crazy. Hinduism. I mean, it's amazing that the world has so many transformations in religions. I don't even like to call it religion. It's like I don't like music having a tag.
Yeah.
You know, jazz, okay, jazz, blues, yeah. Well, you know what? Everything's so crossed over now. I
It
mean,
really
we are
is.
so. I mean, look how universally connected we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could talk to you. You're in LA. I could talk to somebody in Russia. Some guy in Uzbekistan will send me some tracks, and I'll be like, yeah, wow, where else could we do this? I mean, the world is not that big anymore. It's like,
Do you
that's
use
why I worry
the
about our society right now. So
what? Say that again.
I worry about our society right now. So, but
I
I don't
I
like
also
politics.
I also think of myself as very spiritually active, and I listen to a lot of people, read a lot of books, and um, I'm very drawn into what these kind of people are saying about present times. There's
Yeah,
a lot of stuff, a lot of people. So
scary.
yeah, but I mean, what they're saying spiritually about
Oh,
present times, which is, I mean, for me, besides being into the music, for me, that's the only other point of view that calms me and, makes me not freak out, I guess, is this expectancy of uh, how the people who are aware on the planet and who are becoming aware on the planet are like the trajectory of what that means, which, I mean, you can't, there's nothing else to really focus on if you don't want to, lose your mind. You know what I mean?
You- Now, music's a great, I want to call it an escape, but there's there's a neutrality to music that keeps everybody, no matter who you're for, what you're against, whatever it is. It's a universal connection, and it's a connection of the mind and the heart and the soul. And you're never gonna. One thing great about music, you can't degrade that. You can't attack it. You can't. No, no. Yeah, politics can't get involved. No, ain't gonna work, man. What are you gonna do? You know. I mean, I understand you could take the arts out of the schools. You know what I mean? That's terrible. But if the arts can't happen in the school, I'll guarantee that the arts will continue to happen in a garage somewhere. You know?
Yeah, that's so true, though. I mean, you can't, there's nothing that you can do to music.
No.
There's no threat of loss of freedom. There's nothing. Because I mean, really is God, it's the connection to God,
Yeah, it's connected to a spiritual plane
Yeah.
in a way. We don't know for sure, but I'm sure it is. It's got to be.
I am sure it is.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I've always felt that it's like my religion, my real religion, because, it's a practice that you do that brings you to that state, which I consider God, So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I like to try and get there every day.
that's why I always wake up every day. Thank you, Lord, for another one. That's it. I don't know who that Lord is. Sometimes I feel it might be Buddha. Sometimes it could be Jesus. Sometimes it could be, in the name of the Father. Whatever. Who knows? God forbid. I mean, I can't imagine. I'm hoping there's a beyond this life. We're we're gonna pick. We're gonna find out.
Yes,
Bad or
we
good.
will. We'll find out. Well, um, is there anything else that you would like to say on this interview?
No,
Anything else that we haven't
no. You've
touched
been
on?
most gracious, Kath. I can't thank you enough for having me back, and all your people that call in or whatever. It's just it's always been a great time. Anytime you want us back, just let me know. And I hope we can kind of see each other for every album that comes out. That would
Why
be
not?
nice. And
Why not? You might have to remind me of a few things, but
oh, don't worry. I'll now that I got a promotions guy back and I got Bill, we'll always let you know what's going on.
okay, Michael. Well, listen, have a good day, and I hope that storm doesn't torment you. And
Well, I'm supposed to hit here in about
3 hours.
another half hour.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so and then I'm almost sure we'll lose our connection.
All right. All right. Well, have a good one, man. Thank you.
Peace and
Nice to
love, my
talk to
dear.
you.
Peace
Nice
and
to see
love.
you.
God
Good luck.
bless you.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right.